Content warning. The following show contains smoking, possible potty mouth language today. It's been a weekend. Discussions of fictitious violence. And of course, a few things that might make a few people out there feel like they're being attacked. But I promise you, you're not being attacked. You're only being seen. Viewer discretion is advised. It's been a weekend? Well, yeah. I mean, hasn't it? Yeah, but you're not supposed to tell them that. What's up with the poker face? Oh, dude. Seriously speaking, and I'm only going to say this one more time. If these people thought I was professional in any way, shape, or form, they probably wouldn't be watching me. Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. All right, start the music. Hey everybody, how's it going out there? How you doing today? I am Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, and man, I was muppeting so hard right now it threw my hair out of my hair tie. And I'm coming at you from the Wizard's Tower, where today is hot! Or as most of my friends from elementary school would say, ay chingado, mucho caliente. Anyway. So with all of that, how you guys doing out there? I'm Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower, and welcome to the dark side of the room. This is where we talk about so many different things. We talk about games because, well, we like playing games. You know, I mean, we don't play games with your heart, with your heart. No, we don't do stuff like that. I barely ever sing boy band stuff. But, oh my God, we talk about so many things. We talk about games. We talk about learning. We talk about life. Don't you know anything about life, Lisa? Don't you know? And, of course, we talk about the day-to-day goings on in our neck of the woods. But you know, sometimes we talk about it from perspectives that not everybody shares. So that is the thing that we are going to be doing today. Now, like I said, it has been a weekend. And with that weekend, there's some stuff that I got to talk to y'all about today. But if y'all got any questions or comments or anything that you gotta say, all you gotta do is pull up your keyboard and type in back in the deck at gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK at gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on Instagram. What is going on Instagram? You can find us at Back in the Deck. Again, that is BACKINTHEDECK at gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. Same thing, BACKINTHEDECK. Alright, you guys are y'all know how to spell. That is gonna be about that when it comes down to it. But you know what? A lot of y'all are like, you know, I have no interest on being on Instagram. I have no interest on being on Twitter. I have no interest because, well, I'm not gonna say I'm old, but I am gonna say I've just been through too much. All right, I've been through too much. I'm tired. There's so many things that we got going on with the stuff that we're doing. So where do I go if I don't feel like doing all those same social medias that my nephews and my nieces do? Well, you can always hook up with me and reach out to me on TikTok. What? That's right, I got a TikTok because, if the kids are doing it, I want to do it too. Because I was the fat kid that nobody wanted around. So if there's something cool to do, I want in. Okay? And with that, you can also hit me up on the place where we internet boomers go to internet boom boom, Facebook. All right, you can hit us up. Join the group Deckers on the Book, and if you end up joining the group Deckers on the Book, you can talk to us about your goings on. Share with us your creations and your creativities, and of course, show us the stuff you've been working on, and then maybe we can hook you up. So, with all that, yeah, that's a whole thing on that. So yeah. Oh man. Yep. So with all that, yeah, let's talk about a couple of things. Like I said, it's been a weekend, so I reached out to you guys and all that jazz, and I can't tell you guys, man, y'all rock on so many different levels. Okay, y'all really do, because yeah, it was, as you guys know, I have been on a journey to learn the game of Warhammer 40K. Again, I'm staying primarily within Combat Patrol because, how can I put it? It's not the monetary investment. It's not the quantum investment. All right. And we'll talk about that. I was watching the podcast of a friend of mine earlier today. I said something and somebody laughed at it, but really, as funny a joke as it was, I am dead serious, man. This game is so crunchy, I have lost quite a few teeth just trying to wrap my head around the quick start rules. I mean, just so much crunch. So just, ow, my teeth. My teeth hurt because the game is just so crunchy. But yeah, so there is all of that. And let's see here. Over the weekend has been filled with a lot, and I mean a lot of tragic happenings. We had the death of a Decker elder, which was not quite cool. That happened on Friday night. And yeah, that was a really big thing on that one. So major shouts out. Oh, I didn't send out the announcement because I have so many things that I've set up today. Yeah. I mean, they were an elder and they went peacefully. The Decker, the Decker that is part of our community, stayed with them by their side and sang to them until their eyes were closed. And real talk, y'all, that's the way we do it. Okay? That is the Decker way. Passing on is never, ever an easy thing for those that are left behind. Okay? And I mean that. I really mean that. That part, it's hard for the family, and I don't mean that in the Dominic thing, so yeah, this ain't Fast and Furious and all that stuff, but yeah, it literally is, family, and that is a very difficult thing to deal with. And, it's a difficult thing, and it's also their birthday. So yeah, that's so many things. That is such a big thing to deal with, and they're taking it like a champ. I'm very proud of them, and I just want to let them know that we as Deckers got their backs and all of that jazz. So With that being said, there's another thing. One of our deckers are currently, all right, currently going through a major thing. All right, a major thing. Um, Here we are. They have a GoFundMe because they are LGBTQ plus, and um, essentially the place that they live is a rural area in Northern California, whose honest to goodness, um, the area has been becoming far more alt right, with things like pamphlets and vandalism and um, all of those things. They have the whole story here. It is a book, but it also comes with the news articles from their local area. All right. They're playing this card of LGBTQ people are groomers. It's the same moral panic that came out with D&D and gangster rap and rock and roll and heavy metal, and they're using their religion to promote hate. And this Decker has a GoFundMe up and going so that they can get out of there and get to Portland, Oregon. So, I'm setting the links right here. If you guys cannot donate, I understand folks is broke. All right. But with all that being said, share it. All right. Share it. The statistics pretty much comes down to whatever the goal is, it needs to reach 10 times the amount of people as the goal was set. So, since they set their goal at $1,250, they need to hit 12,500 people. So let's see if we can make this go viral and make that happen. All right. So, with all that out of the way, we've gone from the really bad news to the bad news. Oh no, the really bad news to the bad news to the irritation part of the news. So let's get to that irritation part. As you guys know, I was preparing this weekend for my very first game of Warhammer 40K with someone else. I mean, my very first game that I wasn't gold fishing and all that jazz. And unfortunately, that did not come to pass because of all of the things that came down. The death, the other stuff, all that. So that is a thing. But I like focusing on good stuff. And there's so much good stuff to focus on in today's episode, okay? And you're like, but Solar, how can you talk about there being so much good stuff and all of that jazz? Well, I will tell you, all right? I'll tell you why there's so much good stuff to focus on. Because today, all right, today, since I wasn't able to play the game that I planned on, Friday, yeah, I believe it was Friday, you guys just shocked me. I was shocked. I was appalled. No, I wasn't appalled. I was really just shocked. Okay, that was the thing. I was shocked. I was surprised. I was humbled. Is the biggest word. You know, I was truly and seriously humbled at you guys because we were talking about hang on. Yeah, I was humbled because we were going over a few things. One of the things that we were going over were some of the things I was painting. And we got a request to make this cute little guy. Look at that cute little guy. Yeah, look at that cute little guy right there. You know, oh, look at all that with the cuteness and the littleness and the guyness and all that jazz. And I said, I would love to make that dude. You know, I would love to make that dude. Unfortunately, I was out of resin. And, you know, I kind of did the thing of you know, I kind of did what my mom used to do with that whole, oh, okay, yeah, you want McDonald's? Well, you got McDonald's money? Oh, you want to do this? Yeah, well, it's like, hey, I could print that thing, but I'm out of resin. And just as a joke, I put the donation button in the thing, and within 5 minutes, someone came through with an entire with an entire donation that didn't just allow me to order printer resin, but it allowed me to do it on the show. And I'm like, dude, that is great. That is fantastic. You know? And then it kind of left me with one very interesting problem, which was if I print this thing, okay, if I print this thing, which I'm definitely going to have to do, um, what would I use it for? And my head has been in the combat patrol state of mind. Okay, that is where my head has been. That has been the thing. That is what I have been doing and looking at and all that jazz. So I'm like, well, if that is what we're doing, okay, if that is what we are printing, what can I do for this? What can I use? Well, I then went to the place that I don't like going, which is the Games Workshop website. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, let's see here. Let's take a look. And I found dim dark angels. Oh, the angels. They're so dark. Are they part of the DC cinematic universe? They're just so dark and so angelic and dark. So since I did that, I'm like, okay, fine. If I'm going Dark Angels, let me see what I can do. So of course, I hit a snag over the weekend, okay, which was, I figured one, as you guys know, I worked on Thursday or Friday or something. Yeah, I think it was Thursday. I'm pretty sure. No, it was Friday. I worked on Friday, and when I got home, the resin was there. And I pulled up the files, I did all the jazz, and I'm like, all right, so I'm going to pull up the files because the resin should be here tomorrow. And I'm putting everything in. And sure enough, when the resin shows up, I'll fill the vat, I'll push the button, and I'll get to work on that. Okay? And I did. And of course, I did my small little test print just to make sure everything was good. And I'm glad I did because my screen was out. I had finally just worked the poor guy to death. Just worked it to death. And I'm like, ain't this a blip? All right, all right. So, again, this was Friday when I got home from work. And I don't know if you guys know what I do for a living, but my workday consists of 6 to 8 hours at a gym, okay? If you're up from Canada land or somewhere that's not the United States of America, I spent the day lifting 20-kilogram boxes. And by that, I mean, yeah, bro, I was at the gym that day doing reps, bro. I was totally doing reps, and I did about 823 reps of 20-kilogram boxes. If you guys don't know how much that is about 48-pound boxes. Okay? And I'm talking over my head. So not that I was, what is the term? I wasn't too tired to replace my screen. When I got home, I was too tired. Yes, Warehouse of Troubles. And it's been a good 92 to 100 degrees in weather. And what that translates to, guys, for those of you that may not know, is that translates pretty roughly to about 35 degrees Celsius. But that's not the tough part. The containers are made of metal. So they bake in the sun all day while I'm inside it. All right. So yeah. Mm. Oh, we've got AC in the warehouse, but we don't have AC in the container. So when I got home, I was not trusting myself enough to do electronics work when I got home. So that's a thing. That is definitely a thing. So instead of having to deal with all that, I went to bed. And the next day, I went to my reserves because I always like to keep one or two spare parts of consumable electronics laying around. Because if I can't 3D print stuff, then you guys don't have much to watch. And that is no bueno. Um, and I was out of screens, but my Mars uses the same type of screen. So I had to do a little swap about. And to make a long story short, too late, I know. We finally was able to put together some precious little guys, okay? Because I didn't just um at FedEx a while back. Very happy until I picked up a number of new students pretty quickly and I could make nearly the same pay for way less strength. Right? Right? Again, this is why I'm always going, hey guys, like, donate, subscribe. Anyway, so I spent a good amount of the weekend doing some really important stuff. But needless to say, why are people texting me now? Oh, okay, they're just saying, "All right, I'll watch the show." So with all of that being said, I pushed the button. What happened? I pushed the button. The button has been pushed. What, is this thing too hot? Shouldn't be too hot. Okay. Da 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 dee da 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 da. Okay. And so with that, guys, we have our precious little dudes. Look at our guy. Yeah. All right. And again, this is because of y'all. We're going to be taking a much closer look at him today because we are going to be doing some panel lining and a few other things. Because as you guys know, again, this is our box set. I want to thank the people at Apex Tabletop for that precious little guy because not just with that precious little guy, I decided to make most of the army from Apex Tabletop miniatures, which we will be taking a look at shortly. All right, and I used a lot of the same techniques that you guys already know me to use to get that base coat of green down there. All right, yeah, we got that base coat of green. Are we green? We are super green. All right. I know I'm doing a lot of teasing today. That's right. I'm trying to like push that whole engagement thing. Okay? But today we are going, ooh, I did not mean to do that, but hey, now we're here. Hang on. That should be there. Yes, I know. You're Neon is like, you're doing a lot of teasing today. I know. I know. Sometimes I'm just such a bad boy. I'm such a bad boy with all of my teasing. So, what we're going to be doing is, as you can see, we have a really nice metallic green to go with this. And of course, we're going to be using our signature color. Vallejo's Air Model Copper. Because why not? Copper is just such a good thing to do the lining in and stuff like that. All right. So that is what we are up to today. When I look at all that stuff, yeah. And I did something that I think you guys would appreciate with this guy because I printed him up and he looks cool and he's fun. But, ooh, he comes with different stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, I magnetized him. What? I had to magnetize him on this one. Because there is a different loadout for this guy. We're gonna head over to Apex Designs really quickly because yeah, they decided to do something cute in regards to the release of 10th edition, because they know, all right, they know who they are, they know what they do. I already did, and I already have it. So yeah, so they gave this weapons pack with the whole thing, and I am not a big fan. That's right. If that looks familiar, you might check out the what is the term? The Leviathan starter box. Just saying. So yeah, let's head back. Yeah, so we got that guy. So I magnetized it because I may print up the other sides to give the big gun and the big rocket missile pod. I just haven't decided if I want to. Remember, with this particular experiment, we are sticking primarily, guys, to the combat patrols. And the guy that's in the combat patrol, yeah, he's a dreadnought with a claw and a plasma rifle, and that's what we got. So, now instead of starting off with my lining with this guy, all right. So, no blades. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, it's so Primarisy, you know. It's like it's got a prime objective going, doesn't it? But instead of doing all the stuff on this guy, I always recommend to you guys to start small, because that is what I do. Look at this guy. Oh, it's so tiny. All right, because we are going to do the panel lining on the little guys first. All right, so, and why first? Because errors made on these little guys will not show up nearly as much. Yeah, they won't show up nearly as much on these tiny little infantry guys as they will on our big boy. That's a big boy. All right, so let's get started with this. I always wet my brush. Now, a friend of mine earlier today asked me, when I paint and it's dry, just dry, so dry, how do I keep my brushes, how do I keep my brushes from drying out? And I didn't have an answer for that question. Because, well, my friend in practice is a much better painter than I want to be. So my line work is not nearly as heavy, or as fine, rather, as her line work. And she understands, oh my God, this paint is flowing, or this paint isn't flowing, or whatever. That's not me. Okay? That is not me. That is not who I am. That is not what I do. That is not how I be. All right? That's not the bag. Okay? It's not my bag. But occasionally I do pull out the 00 brush like today so that I can practice keeping my hands steady. The biggest thing I get when people are like, oh man, you're painting your miniatures, blah, 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 is thin your paint, son. And I'm like, one, you never bought me any shoes, so don't call me son. And second, they're my toys. I do what I want. When I want to improve, I will ask. Okay? I will go to you saying, hey, how do you do that particular thing? What do I need to know? And when I ask that question, that is when you can look at me and say, "Then your paint, son." But until that day, don't call me son. I got daddy issues. Now, not as many as a Marvel Comics character, but I got them. All right. So, now these guys are Apex Legions. Okay. Again, check out that guy's stuff. Share that guy's stuff. Because real talk, that guy's stuff is really, really good. And he is a lot like, he is very much a Decker from the UK. But the way that he does his stuff is the same way I do mine, which is solo. This dude is designing his own models, doing his own renders, and putting them up so that he can stop working at a day job. And he's doing it on his own, you know. And I respect that, I admire that, and I really like his little spaceman. So, check out his stuff, recommend it, show the stuff that I put up so that other people can see this guy's stuff. And yeah, speaking of the stuff that I do, let me see here. Who was it? Cyberdrake Luca. Thank you for the resubscription. You did it before the show came on, which means no subscription dance for you. No subscription dance. No. Okay. And if you guys are like me and have 3D printers, yeah, there are loads, just loads of really talented, like stupidly talented 3D designers out there, and they're all making proxies for 40K, all of them, because that's the only thing that people are looking for. I went looking for proxies for my Carnivale game, and I found nothing. All I found was D&D and 40K. Okay, that's it. There's a hegemony. You know, so that's the way that works. And I'm like, oh, poopy. You know, poopy. All the scoopies, you know? So, yeah. So, there we are. Look at all that. Boo-doo-doo-boo. So, oh, Zan. Now that I have you here on my cast, you know, Zan was watching the same podcast I was today and said, hey, when I heard somebody say this thing, I'm like, oh, Solar's here. Am I, like, really? Are my vocal stylings that unique? You know, they were talking about orcs, and I'm like, yeah, orcs are made of fun, from what I hear. And I don't recall saying that on the show. Not to say that I, though I don't recall it, I never said it. But yeah, help me out here. Like, oh, I hit my camera. All right, yeah. But yeah, I'm like, how did they know it was me? But then again, you know, Zan and I communicate a lot. So, you know, I'm like, oh, but I thought I was unique and special because I'm a guy from the 90s and that's all we wanted to be was unique and special. And they were like, nope, sorry, son. You know, or maybe I am unique and special. So much so that I was noticed. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know. What I do know was while I was watching that podcast and leaving comments in the same way you guys leave comments on my stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to bully the comment section. I know, I need coffee. And so I went out and I left the thing and went to go get some of my coffee because, yeah, I needed that. All right, so yeah, now with this guy, I did something a little different. Cause you know, I use Mesh Mixer from time to time. You know, it's a free 3D design software. It is not intuitive at all, but I've learned it, and yeah, and it does what I need it to do. So I merged the backpack from Apex Legions with the jump pack from Puppets War, so that I have my Inceptors for this box, you know? And that was actually pretty fun. Yes, it was pretty fun. There we go. Let's do that outward panel lining. Ooh, outward panels. Outward panels. There we go. Yeah, I just want to give this guy some shine. And give him some venting. And now I will follow his line there. And don't worry, since these are proxies for Space Marines, as one of my other favorite YouTubers call them, these guys are getting a grimy black wash. So there's so many details and stuff that I just don't care about. But yeah, you see that? Yeah, this is giving me some very Silverhawk vibes. If you're an 80s kid, you know. And if you're not, I would say look them up. But looking back on 80s cartoons, they were kind of lame in their storytelling. But Silverhawks were the sci-fi version of the Thundercats. They were in space. And this color scheme was of my favorite one on the team, because his Silverhawk power was controlling time. And I'm like, okay, you win. This guy is awesome. You know. Okay. Got all this. Now let me put a little bit of this stuff down here. All the joints. The joints down there. And yeah. I got my glue box here, because since I couldn't play, I made more than Dark Angels, guys. I also found myself making the Astra Militarum. So, of the 21 of the box sets they got, good. Yeah, of the 21 of the box sets that they have, I now have more than 5. I tried taking inventory over the weekend, and I have Astra Militarum, Adeptus Sororitas. Let me see if I can find the file here. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. So, I have Adeptus Sororitas, Eldari. Now I have Astra Militarum, Blood Angels, Chaos Demons, Chaos Marines, Custodes, Dark Angels, Necrons, Orcs, Space Marines, Space Wolves, and possibly Tyranids and World Eaters. Yeah, I may have Tyranids by the end of tomorrow. I thought I had them all, but I don't have a Psychophage. Although One Page Rules released the Psycho Rex, but it looks like a dog with a great big brain, and I'm like, I don't know. And since resin is precious, I gotta give it some thought. Okay, because Nids were the very first thing that I found I liked in the Grimdark setting. Because, you know, space bugs, they never go bad. Or should I say, it doesn't matter what game you're playing, space bugs always work, you know? Let's see. Space Marines, that's right. Oh, okay. I've been watching a lot of, Chekhov. Well, I watch a lot of Discourse Minis, and she broadcasts from Belfast. So, you know, my never-ending crush on intelligent and competent women. My defense mechanism against it is mockery, or should I say impression. So yeah, So she talks about the Space Marines, and yeah, she always says things like value as well. So and I'm definitely there actually. Um, so yeah, I have been doing something interesting though, guys. Oh, I am like totally off camera. See? Yeah, I'm totally off camera. I have been doing something interesting. I did manage on Friday to go down to the friendly local gaming store and friend to the channel, Guildhouse Games. And if all things go well, a week from today, we will be broadcasting from there. Okay, and that is something I'm truly looking forward to. All right, yeah, look at that guy. Now it looks like he has a second color, but we need to give him, I don't know, we need to give him just a little bit more pop somewhere. Ah, there we are. We can give him pop. Oh no, we'll give him pop in a different way. Oh, straps. Okay, so yeah, we'll put that here on the underneath. Okay, I definitely want to give a major shout out to Decker Claw for being on the show and painting with me on Thursday. It was a total whim. And talking to me about 40K and his experiences playing. So it's actually kind of cool, I know what my experience is trying to get into that hobby. I will never call it the hobby. And I see a lot of the stuff. I see the ubiquity. I understand so much. So much. I now understand why a lot of my friends have been so hesitant to learn other games that I'm into, because 40K is so crunchy. It's so crunchy. Like it's interesting. It's really interesting. Now that I've managed to look at the index and to learn how to play a game, and I talked to someone about it. Again, I talked to Charles Mendez, at Guildhouse Games about it, because I'm like, okay, one, I'm spitting out enamel from how crunchy this game is. There's just so many moving pieces, and it's interesting because I'm not a big fan of complicated game mechanics. Okay, I'm really not a big fan of crunch. I like fluff. I like experimentation, and I like learning. But my God, there is just so much fluff. Ha 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 ha. Thank you, Neon. Look, I don't have actual aggressors. I don't plan on getting aggressors. But aggressors come in that halfway taking a poop, halfway Orion from the New Gods position, So, since they're flying, I'm gonna make them fly. All right, but I want people who are playing with me to know, oh yeah, those are absolutely the aggressors. Like, that's the thing about proxying and being anti-WYSIWYG as I am, because again, I'm not a big fan of WYSIWYG. I would be a fan. I could be a fan of WYSIWYG. Better be a scam call. It is a scam call. I'm like, anybody who knows me knows I'm busy right now. I am a fan. I could be a fan of WYSIWYG because again, I 3D print. All right, but I'm such an experimental player. I'm such an experimental player. I'm like, this isn't fun. Let me see if that's fun. All right, that's fun too. And if I have to retool the entire model, oh, stop. It's not too nerdy to be fly. Oh, stop. You are not pretty fly for a white guy. You are just white and nerdy. Yes, you're just too white and nerdy. All right, there we go. So I did one, and how we doing on time today? All right. So since I only have a certain amount of time because is today is a day that I'm in desperate need of glue. Uh, Today is a day for Warp Tumbler C24, most likely. Okay. Magnets. Yeah, how do they work? Um No, I don't like magnetizing flying bases, but yeah, I meant to put some Milliput on this over the weekend. There we go. There we go. And in there. Look at that. And I know a lot of people ask, like, well, aren't you going to base the thing? And I'm like, eventually, I don't know. But yeah, but I was able to talk to a few 40K players. And one of the things that I'm thinking, and I got to talk to some other people from other places, um, is that the stuff that I've come to learn about 40K over the years and over the past few months are just as much a mixed bag as any other part of any other hobby. It looks like there are good folks, there are bad folks, and there are folks that land somewhere in between. And I guess my initial exposure to it was from bad folks, um, and that's really turned me off um, to this aspect of the hobby. Okay, and it's something that I'm seeing. There we go, and it's something that I see a lot because I talk to a lot of my people now. Since we're running low on time, we are going to do something a little different, which is move on to a different color. Okay. Since these are dim dark angels, all right, we also know that their guns and tangs are red instead of gunmetal, which is actually kind of cool. So we're going to take this guy and we are going to add his red, but I need to see the I need to see the other art. Because I really don't know what Dark Angels look like, but I know they have like red accoutrement here. So we know that the weapon in and of itself is red. So we got the red gun. Okay, yeah, the red gun on all the places that ain't the black. There we go. Now, I know the not the aggressors, but the inceptors. They have a cute little gun shield that they have. You know, little bitty shield on top of their gun, which I haven't found anything that I want to put on it that will achieve that effect, at least not yet. But when I do, I'll add it because I like the idea that the gun has its own little splash shield. I think that's pretty neat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm using the 0 for the guns because I want to get a good outline Make sure I don't do too much overspill. Zoop. Gotta keep them brushes wet, baby. I guess that's what I should have told her this morning. Yeah, just keep the brush wet. You know, just keep dipping. Dip it good. Do 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 do. When that body comes along. Yeah, it was actually weird. They gave me a shout out on their podcast. They're like, you should go check out his. I'm like, you didn't have to do that. I'm here as a fan of you, not as a means to freaking get more followers. I'm like, I'm looking at you, my friend. Looking at you. You know. That's all. I guess that kind of goes as part of my brain spice. You know, brain spice. Look at your man. Look at me. Magnets? Yeah, nope. I do not magnetize flying bases. Magnets are too expensive. I do magnetize the bases on my minis because the cake pan transport is all the business, especially when you're like me and you live a minimum of 20 miles away from the nearest community. And I mean 20 miles in any direction. This is kind of what it means to live in the hood, guys. We are isolated and separated from most of the outside world. Okay, is there any other red? Oh, shoulder pad. Shoulder pad. I'm just going to give these guys a stripe. Just one little pinstripe right there. I'm not a freehander. Okay. But a stripe on their shoulder pad is cool enough. Just cool enough to say, hey, we're different. Alright, so. Anywhere else I should put red on these things? No? Alright, so. Got all that stuff. Got the red guns. Okay, and the final color that we're going to be using is one of my old standbys, Raupartha Steel 72704. This stuff is older than a lot of you. And I don't mean the brand, I mean this bottle. I have had this forever. Now I'm just going to use it straight out of the top. Okay? Because this steel color here, this is essentially gunmetal gray. Yeah, it's gunmetal gray plus black. Okay. I literally had to put in a bunch of medium in this right before the show. Hey, look at that. But it's not the only place. So, okay, we're not going to go straight out of the top. Well, yeah, straight out the top, but we need to add a little bit of water. Okay. And, yeah. Here. Look at that. My. Yep. He's got knees. Yeah, see, now he's looking more like a spaceman. Because he's a man from space. There we go. And before I get out of here today, guys, I got one more thing to show you, which is something that is fun. In my quest to get a better understanding, I'm just going to pull this off. Yeah, there we go. We'll just pop that up. Pop that right off to get to the rest of the model. In my quest to understand a lot of this stuff, I went seeking battle reports that weren't as well produced as Play on Tabletop, because those guys are my favorites. I want to have coffee with at least 3 of them. I have an order. Mainly Takahiro. I really want to buy him coffee and talk with him because, man, that dude's work ethic is just scary. And he found time to actually be good at this game. Okay, cool. This guy is amazing. I want to get to know him. Um, right after that, Town Nick, because he just looks like so much fun. He's always smiling and playing with his models like they're toys. You know, I'm a big fan of that. Um, and Mubin. I definitely I wanna have coffee with Damn It Mubin, or maybe a chai. I don't know. God, I haven't had chai for a while. I got to get some more cardamom. Um, so yeah, there we go. We got their guns. All right, and now it's time for the wash. But this wash, we're actually gonna use the steel. All right, we're gonna use this steel as a wash. And to do that, we're going to do oh, one or two little dabs. Okay, and then we're just going to keep adding water until it pools up and runs off of our plastic palette. So I don't want this like an oil wash. I want it a little thinner. A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, you got to get it to the consistency of oh, I'm going to add just a little bit more glue here cuz I don't like it when my stuff keeps popping off the bases. Again, I have to travel to games, and trying to get people to come over is like pulling teeth. Um Contrary to popular opinion, not everyone not everyone in LA drives all the time. Half the people in LA drive all the time. The other half looks for reasons not to drive. Okay, so now let's grime this guy up a bit. Making him grimy. Pulling out lines. Yeah. Yeah, because, again, Alex over at Apex put so much panel work into this. Not as much as Puppets War does. Okay, not as many panel lines as Puppet Wars do, but a lot of panel work. Actually, we have a compare and contrast right here because this is a Puppets War backpack. Or a Puppets War jump pack. And you see how that's just coming out? Yeah, look. Oh, God, look at that. Look at that. My. Okay, yeah, just putting on that layer of grime. Letting it sink in. Let it do the work. Not me. I work at everything else. And it kind of sucks. All right. Yeah, and here we are. All right, we got a before shot. Before with just plain base coat. After, when it's done. Oh, look at that. We are talking night and day. Oh yeah. You know what? I only gave him a panel line on one shoulder. That's fine. Let's say he'll have to earn the other one. Yeah. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Now, let me see if I can get this back to where I needed it to be. Put some more glue in it. I still have to make a glue run because I gotta glue up some Astra Militarum. And it's actually funny because a lot of people say that Imperial Guard is the most expensive Warhammer army to play. And you know what? If you go to their tournaments, in their venues and play by their rules, yeah. Yeah. It really can be because um so the combat patrol box for the Dark Angels, okay? What we have is a dreadnought, Mordecai, the leader, you know, who I got from Puppets War. All right, this is part of their leadership pack. Really digging these guys. Woo! And you know, I gave him that green look, but he is not as metallic. I may fix that. I may not. I've yet to decide. Um, and but it really comes with five. It comes with 10 models. 10 models. Astra Militarum comes with 26. However, if you 3D print and you want to play the Imperial Guard, they're actually, oh God, I don't want to know. Oh, okay, all right, thematic. That was good. That was good. So yeah, let me see if I can get a glamour shot of this guy right down here. Because yeah, I actually like how this guy turned out. He turned out pretty cool. So, and for size comparison, yeah, I like how he turned out. That looked pretty good. Oh yeah. So let's take a look. I'm just gonna move that there. See, look at my guy. Yay, my guy is there. And that didn't take too long. Okay. Yeah, the way that he looks, I'm kind of digging. I'm kind of digging the way he looks. All right. So, yes, I was imagining something much worse than you were, because you have a bridge that I put you under for a reason. All right. Let's be real. So yeah, I mean, like, that's some real talk, man. Come on. Let's see here. So yeah, there is that particular thing that we got and that we're looking at, and that works. And yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. So with the Astra Militarum, I kind of popped by our friendly local game store, specifically to grab some 100mm bases. Okay, that was one of the things I needed very, very badly. So yeah, I needed some 100mm bases for the other stuff that I've been doing, and you know, that's a thing. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you guys, because as you know, I'm always in some sort of pre-production for my battle reports and things like that. So one of the things I got to do, so one of the things I did was I saw something, and it was good to see someone. All right, so yeah, TT, because I drink coffee with cream and sugar. But yeah, so one of the things I did, a lot of people have been asking me, are you going to do cutaways for dice cam, picture in picture? And my new answer is, let me know what you think. All right, yeah, this is really coming through. I'm a fan of this particular method. All right, yeah, I'm doing that in real time, y'all. Real time. Ooh, overlaid dice. Ah, that is so neat. I'm really happy with this. I saw someone do it on their playthrough, and I'm like, I know that technique. I think I shall use that technique. I'm still working out some kinks. All right, yeah, still working out some kinks with the technique. But I'm super happy with that. I hope my friend that I've been talking to about this stuff was watching, cause yeah, I sent him some footage last night when I tried this with my other system, and the real talk on that is I'm kind of hoping the thing. Let's see. You're using such technology to roll dice? I'd be patting myself on the head. I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would, Neon. Because you know what? That's how you roll. I'm trying to roll dice so you guys can watch me play and interact, but this is going to make doing battle reports live much easier. Much easier. I'm really trying to get decent production. Yeah, I'm trying to get decent production and yeah, I'm decent production along with yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah, I'm trying to get decent production along with ease of use. Okay, so that I can set this up on a couple of different computers. Like the ones that I take with me on the road to places. And yeah, you know, because when I'm on the road, I want to be able to film a live battle report from all of our friendly stores, you know? Yeah. You see what I mean, guys? That looks awesome. All right, that looks really, really awesome. And I can just reach into the dice box and grab the dice out, and the next person can do the same thing. Haha! I can say things like demon shave, like some of the people I watch as well. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for being here today. This has been super awesome. All right, super duper uber awesome. And if you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, just tune on in to backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK @gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on Twitter and all those other social media things. All right, I'm leaving a link to the GoFundMe right here in the chat. Excuse me. And I'm also gonna leave one in the chat at the chat. There we go. Boo boo. Hey, thank you, Daryl. Thank you. Yeah, leaving the GoFundMe right here. Oh, so why Dark Angels? All right. I'm just getting your question. Go ahead and share it on the Discord, Zan. Now, Daryl, before I get out of here, you asked why Dark Angels? Well, number one, they were the only combat patrol that came with a dreadnought. Okay. I looked through all of them, and yeah, I'm like, okay, Dark Angels, cool. I guess those are the ones I'm using. Because they come with a dreadnought, and I'm making a dreadnought because my my viewers want me to make a dreadnought. So okay, I'll make a dreadnought. But again, I'm only doing 40k with the I'm only doing 40k with the combat patrol boxes. So to answer your question, why Dark Angels? That's why. So yeah. But let's see. Do not go into the Dark Angels subreddit. I'm not joking when I say yeah, so I am not doing the Reddit thing when it comes to learning this stuff. I'm not going to Reddit. I'm talking to people face to face, and I'm looking at battle reports and people in the Warhammer community that I know and trust, like Tanya the War Mistress. Who else? Play on Tabletop, Tabletop Tactics, Auspex Tabletops. I may try and see if I can reach out to Bricky, because I'm pretty sure that he's in Southern California, but I don't know. I really don't know. I have to think about whether or not Bricky and I have melding personalities, okay? Because I am a very bizarre person. You guys get the best of me and me on my best behavior. But sometimes, I may just talk all day like I'm a 1920s guy. Meh, say meh. You never know. But yeah, I'm only dealing with that stuff and playing in person. I'll talk a little bit more tomorrow about some of my stuff or some of the experiences I went through over the weekend while looking into learning this game and talking to people. But until then, if anybody tells you that you can't like what you like because of the circumstances of your birth, be it race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, neurodivergency, or your budget, because we all know that the trailer park is not too far from the hood, all right? You can just look at any of those people and tell them to take their cards and put them back in the deck. Also, real quick, to add to my answer for Daryl, once I got onto Auspex Tabletop, I ended up getting their stuff, and I'm part of their Patreon, and I'm only part of 2 Patreons. So I printed up I printed up a bunch of the figures anyway, and I figured 1 unit of regular Primaris, 1 unit of 3 flying ones, and a Dreadnought. I figured I didn't have to do a whole lot of work to get this done versus a whole bunch of other places I could have done. But I promise you, I have like 9 combat patrols, so we're going to be doing this for a little while. I thought it was going to be a week. Turns out this is what I'm doing in July. So with that, thank you guys, and I will see you next time on the dark side of the ring.